when there's a cop driving behind you and you automatically assume you did something wrong and they're going to pull you over? Is that just me? Howdy y'all, my name's Gretchen and I'm the Restless Thrifter. I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and other online platforms. I have sales on all three of those today. 7 sales from 1 or 2 days. I think it's 2 days worth. I didn't get to list anything yesterday. I had another one of my infusions, plus I came down with the cold. So nothing was done yesterday. And I think that hurt my sales a little bit because I was being pretty consistent. Consistency really is key, but you got to do what you got to do. And so we're going to get started on shipping out the first one. This is Wednesday. It's not Wednesday at all. It's Friday. This is Friday morning, August 15th. I have been shipping in the evening, but I'm trying to get this done before my husband has to work in this office because I'm using his office. And the first one is an eBay sale of a shirt that I bought for myself that I just didn't like. When I bought it, it came with a t-shirt as well. I'm keeping the t-shirt. They were new with tags. I didn't care for this shirt on me. It just was too boxy. And I don't know, it was just boxy and I didn't like it. I liked the colors. It's made well, plus size 1X camp shirt, striped, new, linen blend, button up, short sleeves. I was going to wear it kind of like a little jacket and everything, but I just, like I said, didn't care for it on me. So this is going to Florida on eBay, and I'm going to put it in 10 by 13 poly mailer. That's what I use most of the time. I have some things to list today. Some hats that I bought. I found some cool outdoorsy hats. One of them is a Filson and the other two are Heschel, I think is what it was, or Henschel. Anyway, they're both good brands and they were good pickups for $2.16 each. So I want to get those listed today. This weighs 11.7. I'll round that up to 12. Shipping. Oh, we're going to think a little bit. We're going to think a little hard today. It's $5.51. We're thinking. Everything's thinking a little hard. Everything's waking up. So I put $0 as my cost of good. In reality, I'm going to lose money on this, reselling something I bought for myself because yes, I'm concerned about price, but I'm not sourcing. So I'm not concerned about the price being like $5 or less. I would love to spend only $5 or less on new with tags made well, but that's just not reality. Yeah, I've got an update on a couple of things. Reselling life, keeping it real, telling you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a couple of these are bad and ugly. You figure out how much they spent with shipping. Sometimes I put that information in advance. Here I am yawning again. Oddly, somebody told me to check my blood oxygen. I checked it and it was fine. And then when I went to the doctor for this upper respiratory thing I got going on, it was low. Not like dangerous or anything, but they tried a couple of different little doodads and I think the highest it got to was 94. Then when I went home and used mine, it was fine. So I don't feel like I have a hard time breathing. I just feel like I don't take enough breaths when I'm talking. I did this all my life too. When I'm exercising, I will yawn. And I always figured that the aerobics instructor, that's showing my age, aerobics instructor thought I was funny by yawning during her class. I'm like, no, this is hard. I just cannot breathe. Okay. $30.14 is what they paid with shipping. This was promoted, so let me add my fees together. $8.60 were my fees. I'm promoting at about 15%. I made, or not really. Oh my gosh, thinking. Probably time for me to restart my computer or something. That's really thinking about it. $16.03. I liked the t-shirt just fine. In fact, I think I was looking for Madewell t-shirts specifically when I bought this shirt, because I found this shirt with a Madewell t-shirt. The Madewell plus size t-shirts I just find to be really comfortable. I only have two now, but one of them I thrifted and the other one I bought with this shirt. Okay, the next item is something that sold on Mercari. It had been months, I think. I don't know. It had been at least a month since I sold anything on Mercari, and I did finally sell this pair of duck hunting overalls. I don't know why it's specifically duck hunting, but the brand is called Duck Commander, and it's size extra large hunting coveralls, Advantage Max, 4HD camo pockets, flaw. What was the flaw? I don't remember. Nothing major. They sent me an offer. First, there was some messaging back and forth, and we landed on $53 plus shipping, and the selling fee was $6.39. So let's plug that in. These haven't delisted yet on Vendoo, and I'm sure it has something to do with me accepting that offer this morning and not being logged in or something, but go ahead and mark it as sold on Mercari. It took only 2 weeks to sell. Oh, wait, a week and a half to sell. That's cool. I had them listed for 70. Like I said, took that offer for 53. Fees were, what did I say? $6.39. So I made, wow, it really is slow today. Oh, this box will be nice. Just happened to grab. I made $46.61. My cost of goods was $0 because I got this for free from my mother-in-law. They belong to her husband. She gave me a bunch of stuff to sell. She was clearing out her closet. She lets go of things very hesitantly. Wouldn't call her a hoarder, but she's frugal and she likes to get use out of, like, the full maximum use out of things, and is hesitant to sell things cheaply. She wants to sell them for what she thinks they're worth, and that's not always, we know how it is. They're not always worth. They're worth what they'll sell for, and that's not always what we think it should be, right? Okay, I gotta go to Mercari to download this label, and I'm gonna cover up some of the excess stickers on here. I'm being more conscientious about this because of a goof I made, and this will be one of my stories. So I goofed and I sent out a hat in a box that had a label on it, and I didn't cover up the label because I didn't see the label. I just wasn't thinking, because of course there would be a label on a used box, right? Well, it went out and now it's not tracking. It's been several weeks. And the buyer was very understanding. He's like, yeah, I understand. Things happen. And I'll wait. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a full refund. And this guy's perfect for these overalls, his photo. Anyway, I said, I'll give you a full refund whenever you want it. So we're still waiting for it to update. And then yesterday I messaged him and I said, did this magically show up at your house yesterday? Something went along those lines. This is going out UPS Ground Saver. That is the cheapest option usually for something over £1 on Mercari, I have found. And he said, no, it did not. And then he said he is a federal law enforcement officer with the United States Postal Service. So I don't know if he's a postal inspector, but I know postal inspectors are considered law enforcement officers. So maybe that's what his title is. I'm not sure, but I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And then I'm like, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. You know how when there's a cop driving behind you and you automatically assume you did something wrong and they're going to pull you over? Is that just me? It's a guilty conscience. I was raised Catholic to believe that I'm guilty of something at all times. So I made 46.61 on those. So this man was like, I'm trying to track it down. He's making some phone calls. I'm like, good. And then I'm reading back through my messages going, did I say anything bad about the USPS to him? I did not. But he's going to have better luck than me, I think. And then he said what other people told me already, other people being you guys who watch, said if there was another label on it, it might have gone and probably did go to the address at the other label. Why they would pick the older one rather than the newer one, I don't know. I guess they want to make sure you didn't steal someone's box or something. So that was just the thing that came to my mind. So that's my neighbor who I get the boxes from. It's either my box, which hasn't come back to me, or my neighbor's. Those are the only two places I get boxes. Could go to my sister. I could check with her too. I doubt it was hers, but I can check with her to make sure. And so my neighbor has already been informed. I gave her a heads up right when it happened, and I'll check with my sister today. But she would see the other label with my name on it. I would think she would, or maybe she wouldn't. I don't know. Anyhow, nobody has told me they received it. And I did ask my neighbor yesterday. She said there's a couple boxes at home I haven't opened yet. I'll check. And so I'll check with her again today if she doesn't respond and see what happens. There's no reason she'd want to keep this hat that I sent out. So she'll be honest, I am sure. And we'll see. But I was like, law enforcement, scary. Don't arrest me. This next item is Johnny Was top, and I made a little video short about this when I found it. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful top, but it is flawed, and I did not realize the flaws at the time because it's like a little discoloration in some spots. Looked like where it had been stain treated, and then me trying to stain treat the spots probably made it even worse. But it's not so terrible that someone would notice it right away when you put it on. And I did do some research and see that flawed items still sold fairly quickly. And, for okay money, this sold for full asking price of $24.96 within days of me getting it, or listing it, not getting it. Only things would sell before you had to list them. That's not so much the case. I don't think I told you how quickly that Madewell shirt sold. It sold in 1 month, and it sold through, I guess it sold full price. That's cool. Where's this top? Johnny Was going to Florida. I loved this color. It's like somewhere between salmon and cherry or poppy. I don't know. I would call it poppy. Beautiful red. Lots of great embroidery. It is a cotton top, which doesn't sell for as much as silk or the Cooper rayon that they have. This weighs 8 ounces exactly, so I'm going to round that up to 9. My brain. And it will be $5.51 to ship. USPS Ground Advantage. Most things are going to go out Ground Advantage, and I call out whether it's different or not. I paid $3.24 for this shirt. They paid $24.96 with shipping, which is how much? Let's see. I found a place locally-ish in so I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's a clothes mentor, which is a consignment shop that is out in the Alliance area, kind of like you go past Texas Motor Speedway and Alliance is out there. It's technically Fort Worth, but it's pretty far north. What was I trying to find out? Oh yeah, how much they paid with shipping. See whether my scatterbrain will remember to come back to that story. 33.29 and my fees were $463. So I made dun dun dun. It's still taking a while. I definitely need to restart my computer. 1991, which is not bad on a flawed top. And I did include close-up photos. There was one tiny little hole too. Still a beautiful top. Okay, Johnny Was. So Clothes Mentor out in the Alliance area. They had, I don't know, maybe a dozen Johnny Was tops priced for about what you would get them for as a good deal on eBay. Not to resell, but to buy for yourself. Really some beautiful tops for $55. That seems to be what most of them were priced. And I think that's a great deal. In fact, I thought all of their clothes were priced for what you would pay on eBay if you were getting a good deal, not necessarily what the average listing price is, but the average selling price. I feel like they were right about on target. When I looked at Lily Pulitzer or looked at their Lily Pulitzer and their Johnny Was, because they had some special sections for that, Patricia Nash, those types of things. Now they do know their local folks and what they'll buy too. So I don't think they're selling as much Johnny Was as they're selling and Lily Pulitzer as they're selling like Patricia Nash and a little bit more Western type of stuff there. So that stuff was probably priced a little higher, knowing they know what people are willing to pay. And like for Coach, and Coach is still really popular. Kate Spade, those types of things in this area. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. So if I ever wanted to come out here and splurge for myself, this would be a good place because you can try it on before you buy it. You can touch it and feel it and look at it and see it on yourself, and don't have to worry about reselling it when it doesn't look good on you or fit you, right? So I was pretty happy with that. Not a great place to source. Maybe if they have a big sale or something, but that's, I understand that they're not going to have sourcing prices. This is not a thrift store, it's a consignment store. Okay, so I made almost $20 on that top that had flaws, and it sold quickly, like within days. All right, this next one, another eBay order. This is something I got at a $2.99 rack sale recently. I want to open this up because I just want to make sure it's the right thing. It's really hard to tell just by looking at it in this bag. I mean, it's got the correct number on it, but I'm just, if I can't really tell. These are J Crew. Campbell is the style. And they're size 12. And they are a beautiful wool blend. They're so nice feeling. And they're navy blue. These are great work or church or interview pants. Just great slacks. Anyone use that word anymore? Sold on eBay. Going to Pennsylvania, sold for $25.47 plus shipping, and that would be a price that indicates it was an offer to watchers. So I have it automatically set up through Vendoo, which is what I use to post and cross post and everything. And I have automated offers being sent out after something's been listed for a week or two. It'll go out, actually probably more after it's been listed for a couple of days. It'll go out for 15%, I think, maybe up to 20. I kind of vary between 5 and 20% depending on how sales are going. This weighs 13.9, so obviously going to round that up to 14 ounces. Excuse me for my sniffles. I do have some sort of cold going on. Let's see. 14 ounces and a 10 by 13. So shipping is $6.64. I paid $3.24. See how much they paid with shipping. $34.92. $4.83 were my fees. And $20.21 is what I made. There's a thrift store I go to in Louisville that has $1.99 racks and $2.99 racks. The $2.99 racks are their what they call their boutique brands, and J Crew is always on their boutique brands. Lucky Brand, Ann Taylor, Loft, Calvin Klein, those types of things. They have as boutique brands. Lululemon, kind of like the standard expensive mall brand stuff. And I did pick up several pairs of pants. And I was a little worried on whether those would sell quickly because I do have a hard time with navy and black really looking spectacular online. But I think that is a good style to pick up, and it was a size that's more average. Like if I had gotten a size 2, which I did buy some size 2 stuff, those might take longer to sell. What's next? Next is this pair of shoes that I've had for a long time. So my sister gave me some of these to sell for her one time, and they sold pretty well, pretty quickly. They were brand new in the box. These have been worn, but are like new, to be honest. Like it looks like they might have worn them once and didn't care for them. So, but they took a long time to sell. These are Red Wing size 7 wide width shoes, safety toe, Vibram sole, Cool Tech work purple. So this is like workwear for women. If you work in a warehouse or something and you need a hard toe shoe, this is the kind of thing you would buy. Dang, I should have just thought of a friend who could have possibly used these, but they finally sold after 2 years. 2 years and 7 months, 2.5 years to sell. And I originally had them listed, who knows what I originally, but I had marked them down to $29.96. They sent me an offer and I took it. This was on Poshmark. They sent me an offer of $22 and I took that. Let me punch that in. 22. I paid $16.31. I paid up for these because I'm like, oh, those ones for my sister sold so well. And I think I sold them for over $100 because they are high retail. Now, these were not brand new. I have another pair of women's, or had another pair of women's work shoes that took a long time too. So, women's safety toe work shoes, they don't sell quickly for me, at least. If they do for you, good for you. $4.40 are my fees. We're going to put this in a USPS box. Did I make any money? I made $1.29. Okay, only $1.29, but I am getting back that $16.31 that I put into it, so I can, after 2.5 years, put that money towards something better. Sometimes I'll even take a loss on an item just to get the money, cost of goods back into my pocket, or some of the cost of goods, obviously not all of it. Putting it in a shoebox, USPS shoebox. I'm going to put a couple of these. That one's flat. Uline air pockets that are going flat in here, so it doesn't make as much noise and rattle around. Really to protect the shoes inside too. Okay, that's good. $1.29. I mean, honestly, I'm glad that I made a little bit on top of my cost of goods. It's good in Colorado. I got these in Colorado. It's not going to the same city though. For the next one is, and I have one after this, is another thing, another pair of shoes that took a long time to sell. Donald Pliner, expensive brand, doesn't resell well for me. Size 9.5 sandals, Una black, strappy, slip-on, 2-inch heels, leather. Yeah, don't know. I think there's a specific Donald Pliner style that was doing well at some point. I don't even know what it was. This is going out for eBay, USPS. I'm gonna need to get a 12 by 6 by 6 box. Oh, those were also Poshmark, so I could have put them in a different box, which I think I will. I can always save this box for the next thing. I think that's better. That reminds me, somebody asked me what kind of microphone I use. I don't know. It doesn't have a brand name on it. It came with a pack of 2, and they have those fuzzy things you can put on that are supposed to help with like wind noise reduction. I never remember to wear mine when I go out, so came with this little case. The case says warranty.hub.com and it has a warranty code on it. And this says warranty-hub.com. 2 different, oh, maybe that does say hyphen. I don't have my reading glasses on. And then on the thing, it just says wireless. So I don't know what brand it is, but it wasn't very expensive. I probably got it off of Amazon or TikTok Shop for like $15 if I had to guess. I think that shoes are a great sale. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. A great seller, a great thing to sell on Poshmark specifically because their shipping is still lower than they would be if you were buying shoes on other platforms. They have that standard shipping. These things. Just use these things that come to me in other boxes. Orders that I place. I don't know why I'm weighing it. Okay. $15. They sent me an offer, I think for 10. Somebody sent me an offer for 10 and I countered for 15 on something. And I think it was these shoes. Going to Georgia because I really don't want to take less than 15 for anything on Poshmark because the fee is going to be more than 20% in that case. But also because I paid $8.11 for these shoes. And I wanted to try to make a little bit of my money back. I had them listed for 30, so we ended up on half of the listing price. At $15, my marketplace fees would be $3. And I ended up with $3.89 profit, and again, getting that cost of goods back. I like to emphasize that because it's, could I hold on to these longer and see if I could get more? Yes. Would I get more? I don't know. But I'd rather get the $3 profit plus the $8 cost of goods and put that towards several things that might sell for $30 or more. Yeah, sometimes it's even worth taking a loss on something. Okay, I do need to send back these pants. Okay, here's another thing. This is where I start to rub my face. This is the ugly part. And it's of reselling, but it's of being a buyer. So from the buyer's perspective, let's look at the buyer's point of view when purchasing something and getting something that they didn't order. The listing was wrong, or they sent the wrong thing, whatever. I purchased a pair of Athleta wide leg pants that were new or new without tag, and it was a great deal. And I've been wanting to try this style. And you know me, I'll buy something and then resell it and even lose money if I need to, if it doesn't work out for me, rather than buy something full price. Okay. So I bought these. They weren't cheap. They were $42.08. They weren't super cheap, but it was still a good deal for brand new Athleta wide leg pants. What I received were joggers. And I was like, did I order more joggers? Like, I find joggers all the time. I don't need to order joggers. I have enough joggers. I want wide leg. And I checked. I'm like, no, I didn't. I ordered wide leg. These are the wrong pants. So I took a picture and I sent them to the buyer, the seller, I mean, who does not take returns, and said these were the wrong pants. And I opened a return because I don't care if you don't take returns. If you send me the wrong thing, I'm gonna open a return. And they immediately accused me of trying to do a switcheroo, which was rude and hurt my feelings and it made me angry. I went through all the emotions of grief, okay? And then they doubled down on that. I was like, no, this is what happened. It's a pink poly mailer. I opened it, took it out of the plastic, looked at it, joggers, took a picture, sent it to you. I didn't switcheroo anything. I have nothing to gain by that. And so, like I said, they doubled down on that statement. And then I said, are you accusing me of pulling a switcheroo? And then they accepted the return without any comment after that, which I'm not going to say anything back either. I'm just going to package them nicely and ship them back to them. Maybe they're going to turn me into eBay for something. I don't know. But I will also be making a note to eBay on this. So I don't know. All I know is that we as sellers complain about buyers doing switcheroos. We do. And I think we jump to that conclusion way too quickly sometimes and don't look inward at whether we could have made a mistake. They were adamant that they don't even have joggers. I'm like, I believe that you believe that. But that's not what I received. It's not what I received. I feel like I want to video all of my purchases now. I just felt so violated and accused. And remember, raised Catholic, always feel guilty anyway. I didn't do anything wrong. And this people made me feel really bad. And I'm also pretty I can get mad when I'm right. So I was trying to tone down my response just to be a reasonable one, which was, guy, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this to you. So I need to pack those up. But first I have one more sale to pack up. That was the other thing I was going to tell you about, just the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as a seller yourself, if you sell, please give your buyers the benefit of the doubt and assume you made a mistake. When they say that the customer is always right, it's just best to go with that and then move on. That's why I take returns. I do not take free returns. If it's a fit issue or something, then they have to pay it. And I try not to do any arguing with the buyer if it's possible, if there's any possible chance that they're right. I'm just like, okay. I will argue when I know they're not right. That's neither here nor there. I don't sell in volume. I think this is a volume seller because they don't take their own pictures. They use stock photos. There weren't any of their own pictures of these pants, which maybe was my mistake too. Maybe I shouldn't buy from someone who doesn't have a picture of the pants. Um, and they didn't have any measurements. They don't do any of those extras like I do for all of my items. And they were saying, we work too hard for people to pull this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I work hard. I work too hard to accept something I didn't buy. Okay, rant over. I'm all flushed and I don't like this feeling that I have right now from this altercation. And it makes me want to go rage on something. All right, the next and final item for me to ship is something from Depop. I forgot I had a Depop sale. I did. I had this Old Navy plus size 2X wrap polka dot. I think it's a linen blend top and super cute. Yeah, I'm flushed and feeling angry right now. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling any longer. Gonna shove this into my corner. Face is just getting redder and redder. Back of my neck is sweating. It's not worth getting upset for somebody else being mean to me. I'm pathetic. All right, they paid $16.97 plus shipping. My processing fee was $122. Low processing fees on there. It is boosted. I did not have to pay a boosting fee because I'm still part of this free boosting promotion that they're doing. I think it ends in a couple days. But I would be fine with paying a boosting fee because it would have been like $1 something as well. And it's low enough that even with the payment processing fee, I'm paying less in fees than on other platforms. I paid $207 for this shirt. It was probably on a $1.99 rack at that thrift store in Louisville. And I've got a lot of plus size stuff that day. $13.68 was my profit on this item. That would be bread and butter, y'all. Good deals on plus size clothing is bread and butter for me. Where's the, oh yeah, I got to download the shipping label. Man. Florida, you've been talking about it. Just gonna let it go. But I am gonna go get those pants right now so I can ship them out. This person has a very pretty name. Thank you very much, y'all, for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. I don't say that very often. I don't grow subscribers, so maybe I should say it more often and ask you to please thumbs up and subscribe because that really helps me out. It's free for you to do, and it's a nice thing for you to do to anyone on YouTube who you watch and appreciate watching. Y'all have a good day and just keep listening.